Ontario. UBC, of course, one of the most decorated programs in all of U Sports.
Yeah, Jake, and they won the Quigley Cup in dramatic fashion, coming down from 2-0 against Queens, one of the historically great teams in Ontario. And so it will be, one of the emerging and new potential dynasties here in U Sports against a team that has won as much as anybody, with the most decorated head coach in Doug Reimer, a 9-time national champion.
Opening serve is coming up after the break. Live from Vancouver, you're watching the 2023 U Sports Volleyball Championships presented by Mikasa on CBC.
They don't do it for the likes or for the shares. They do it for the fun of it, for the thrill, for the camaraderie, for the memories. CBC Sports, just because they love it.
We are just minutes away from this quarterfinal matchup between Brock and UBC tipping off. And as the two teams get ready to announce their starting lineups, we would like to take a look briefly back at what we saw earlier tonight. Hannah, you were there on the call for both of the previous two matches where Trinity Western and Dalhousie advanced to the semifinals. And what do you have to say what we can expect from the level of volleyball here tonight?
Yeah, I think the first two games went super well. I mean, they weren't too close. There's no 5-setters out there. The first game went to 3, the second to 4. But again, some very competitive, high-level volleyball teams giving it their all out there.
Now it's time to be the starting roster of your home team, the UBC First up from Redmond, Washington, wearing the number 3 jersey is Elise Pettit. The first center, wearing the number 6 jersey from Vancouver, BC, Kayla Osland.
It is a veteran-heavy starting lineup for UBC. 6 of their 7 starters are seniors, the one exception being third-year Erica Vermette. On the side of Brock, they're looking to do one better than last year when they were eliminated in the U Sports quarterfinals by Mount Royal. It was their best ever program finish. Looking to do one better this time around. It won't be easy against a UBC team with the whole crowd behind them.
The whole crowd, plenty of experience here on the UBC side, but Brock has plenty of stars. 4 first All-Stars for OUA All-Stars on the Brock side. It's really a loaded squad that's dominated the OUA. They had an entire undefeated season last year, Jake, before coming back and picking up the back-to-back championships. This should be a great match.
It is the UBC setter, Kayla Oxland, getting us underway with the serve. On the outside, it is the Badgers who strike first. That is the outside hitter, Sadie Dick, one of the top offensive options for this team.
Yeah, so many different options for Brock to go to on the attack, but look for Sadie Dick, one of those all-stars we talked about, to be heavily fed tonight.
UBC now looking to respond. They go to Elise Pettit, and she goes cross-court to the back corner.
Well, and Elise Pettit, we highlighted her pre-game. She's going to be plenty busy as well. We really saw UBC throughout the year diversify their attack quite a bit, show a lot of different looks. They're a little unpredictable, but Pettit is likely to be featured more than anybody tonight.
She now serves, diving dig, and then over the middle, somehow kept alive by Casey Jost, the Canada West Libero of the Year. Kara Kovacs stands tall at the net, and a net violation is called. The crowd already getting something to cheer about here.
Oh, no doubt. Jost getting involved early with a beautiful one-handed dig. Pure desperation there in athleticism, and she kept that point alive.
The net violation was called on Kovacs, giving Brock the point, but Dick gives it right back with a service error.
And we'll see how the serving goes here. Of course, you do have the crowd backing you with your UBC, but that's some extra pressure. Sometimes they can just throw off your timing a little bit. Brock as the visitors here, the lone OUA representatives. They do have a few fans. We see the Badgers flag in the crowd as well.
And over the middle, that's Grace Pyatt, one of the many, as you mentioned, first-team OUA All-Stars. She had a career-high 10 blocks in the OUA championship match against Queens just last week.
Also led the OUA in hitting percentage, so she does it all.
Tough control there on the serve for UBC, and it's a free ball given up to Brock. Sarah Rohr pushes it across, and that's a good dig by Oxland to keep it alive. Now Vermette goes sideline, can't get the kill. Right back at it. That's Lauren Ainsworth with the kill.
Yeah, number 4 there for Brock, the setter. She is running her offense so well so far in this set. She's definitely going to be a threat. Even though maybe not physically a threat, she's not the one hitting. She's doing such a good job setting up her offense.
UBC now trying to respond once again as Brock has opened up an early 4-2 lead, and Ainsworth cranks that one down the sideline.
Wow, tough to defend that one. There was a little maybe contact with the net. I think a brief hesitation on that, but ultimately that's nearly impossible to defend if she can pull that shot off.
The second-year outside hitter Ainsworth really caught fire in the OUA playoffs. The last 4 matches coming into tonight combined 22 kills, just 2 attack errors. UBC gives up another free ball. Rohr now goes over the middle. Pyatt nearly gets the kill. In fact, she will get the kill, and Brock is rolling offensively here to start.
Passon tried to get that one up, but that's hard when you're coming down from the block. You're not quite set in your feet yet, and you're trying to play it. Not much the Thunderbirds could do with that.
UBC needing a response. Again, a tough serve control. Rohr gets it to Ainsworth, and again, Lauren Ainsworth is finding life down that UBC left side, or rather their right side.
Yeah, that's right. A little bit of a tick off the net there really helped make that ball extra unpredictable, but there was a hole, and she's finding it. So we'll see whether Vermette and the entire UBC team adjust a little bit to take that sideline away.
Yeah, Oxland was down the line. She was a little dug in on her heels, and as you mentioned, it did tip the net. So once you're expecting the hard-driven ball to then transition into the dive, it's definitely not easy, and Oxland is coming off that ankle sprain from not too long ago. So we'll see the adjustment UBC makes after that one.
Ainsworth just 5th on the team in kills per set this season, but she's been a featured player in the first set so far tonight. And Brock as a team hitting 700 here early on with 7 kills on 10 attack attempts. Can't have had a better start here coming into a hostile environment.
Really diversifying their attack as well. We've seen them go to the middle to Pyatt. They've gone to the outside to Ainsworth with great success. And they have a lot more weapons that we haven't even seen yet. So pretty much a dream start here for the Ontario representatives.
Yeah, to your point, Dick, only 1 attack attempt so far. Emily Faust not getting a swing. Christina Jovetic, the captain, the same thing. And coming out of the timeout, UBC goes to their captain, Bryn Payson, and she stops the run with a much-needed point.
Yeah, the 5th-year Payson, known for her serve as much as anything, but once in a while, they mix her into the offense, and she's usually very effective when called upon.
That puts Vermette at the service line, and she commits the error.
Jake, before we get too deep into this game, we should say if you're at home and you want to interact with us, you can send us an email, usportschampionship@gmail.com, usportschampionship@gmail.com. We had a lot of international viewers earlier, people from Ireland, from Paris. Let's see if we can top that tonight.
That is another kill for Ainsworth off a bit of a blown reception there by UBC. That'll prompt a early substitution as Lucy Borowski is checking in for Vermette.
The 2nd-year Borowski getting a chance to play with a bunch of veterans out there. We've seen UBC be quick to substitute, very deep. That's the strength of this team.
Payson rifles it right off of the shoulder of Dick. She doesn't often get huge kill counts for this UBC team, but she's had a couple of big ones here early on. And she does now go back to serve, UBC's leader in aces this season. Put up for Ainsworth, and they still can't stop her, can the Thunderbirds, this time going cross court.
Yeah, that's a tough shot right in between the libero and Pettit in the front row. They're kind of on the same plane. It's talked about in volleyball often, so if they dive, they're diving into each other. You ideally want to be slightly staggered so you can both cross and dive for that ball.
That serve was sent across by Rohr. Now Pettit with the off-speed attack, doesn't land. They go again to Ainsworth, and it's off the hands of a couple of Thunderbirds. And that is already 6 kills for the 2nd-year hitter.
Yeah, Ainsworth, she's got that hard cross-court shot that's landing kind of by the attack line, and UBC is going to have to adjust their defense for that one.
Jost pops it up for Pettit, trying to put some power on it, but overcooks her shot, and that's an attack error, and it's a 12-4 lead for the Badgers.
Well, right now, and Hannah, I'm not sure what you're seeing here. The UBC offense just looking a little off. What do you think they need to adjust here to get back in rhythm?
Yeah, I think their first contacts are a little sloppy right now. So we just saw that pass there that's so out of system. So just cleaning it up on the first contact defense, and like that, Casey Jost, that was a much better ball.
Unable to keep it alive there at the net is Ainsworth, and UBC gets a very needed kill.
To the point that the first pass has been a bit of an issue. You really can't blame Jost, though. There's been a lot of deflections at the net. A lot have gone off the net as well. So perhaps a little bit of bad luck playing into the lack of consistency from UBC right now.
Is Jade Robertson, the big middle blocker, with the serve. It's put up for Ainsworth. Wow, she has been on a mission in this first set as she now goes back to serve, and putting her in the back row might be exactly what UBC is looking for right now.
She's been unbelievable from the left side, from the right side, absolutely everywhere, and she's not even one of the All-Stars, so what a start for Brock.
Kayla Oxlin goes for it herself. She missed the final 2 matches of the regular season and then came off the bench in their 2 playoff matches against Manitoba, but is the starter once again tonight.
And Hannah, how big is it when your team's struggling a little bit and your setter steals a point for you like that?
Oh, it's huge. It's a momentum change for sure. When your setter gets a kill, everybody's stoked on that.
She then puts a strong serve across, nearly an ace, but a free ball for UBC. Borowski sent back. The captain, Kristina Jovetic.
And Brock looks really prepared in the front row. They're really getting 2 blockers on almost all of these swings from UBC right now. And without maybe a little trickery, it looks like the Badgers defense is reading the UBC attack and almost a step ahead sometimes.
Jovetic now with the serve. Sent across by Borowski. Almost a bit of a nothing attack there, but she put it right in the middle of the defense.
Yeah, Borowski saw the opening and took it with that swing.
Pettit now. UBC needs to go on a run at some point in this set before too long, with Brock already up to 14 points. Dick trying to get herself going again, and she gets the wipe off the hands of Kovacs.
Yeah, that time you just kind of saw the hips. They were a little squared up to the attack that was coming from the sideline. Would have been tough to sort of deflect that back in bounds without a little bit of a mid-air adjustment. So Brock doing well there to just slam it off the block and take the easy point.
Now first substitution of the night for the Badgers. Madison Tuck has checked in to serve. Over the middle, Kovacs gets on the board. That might be the first in-system middle attack that UBC has run all night.
Yeah, what a run by Kayla Oxland. Veteran setter, she knows where her players are going to be, and you can tell out there.
Kovacs, another top server on this UBC team that was #1 in Canada West in that category. Just barely keeping it alive there. Or the Badgers, Payson with one arm, bats it to a teammate. Now Borowski pushes it to the back corner. Over the middle, Pyatt gets the kill, sneaking it down through the block.
Let's talk a little bit about what Brock is doing here to have such clean attacks and set up so quickly. One name we haven't said yet is Aaliyah Torres, the third-year libero, an all-star this year, and she was second in the OUA in digs per set. She's been phenomenal. The first passes have set up the Badgers so well here early on.
And now a bit of a delay before we get the next serve underway, and Akash Gruel will be checking in. Looks like for Bryn Payson.
Seeing Gruel come in off the bench and play some very important points for the Thunderbirds all throughout the season. Somebody we really watched grow throughout the year.
The near-side official is having some sort of discussion with the scorers table. I'm not exactly sure what the delay has been for, but both teams taking the chance to try and talk things over.
Maybe having some trouble hearing as this crowd is getting pretty raucous. Got Crazy P over there, pumping them up with the drum.
Is the biggest crowd of the season here in War Memorial Gym. Makes sense when fans here in Vancouver have the chance to see their hometown school compete in the national championships. The first time this tournament has been held here in Vancouver in 40 years, when both the men's and women's tournaments were played here simultaneously. Of course, the men's tournament going on right now in Hamilton, Ontario, much closer to where Brock is. They might have been hoping that the sites had been switched so they didn't have to do as much travel, but good experience for them coming all the way out here to play in a gym that they've not played in before.
Well, if the Badgers want to become a dynastic sort of team that they're shaping up to be after just 5 years under head coach Steve Delaney, you got to come west, you got to come to the most unfriendly environments and go the furthest and prove you can win. They've got the chance to do so this weekend.
And so after that stoppage, it will be Emily Faust to serve. Oxland goes to the substitute, Gruel, and she bats it over the double block beautifully.
Gruel seemed a little surprised by that one herself. I don't think it was quite what she expected, but she was still able to get the point and score on that. So it just shows how versatile Gruel is.
One of the younger players on this UBC team, often used as a spark plug off the bench. Ainsworth just barely goes out of play as that ball very nearly was a wipe, but UBC finally gets a stop on her.
And by millimeters, perhaps, they're just catching that line. They finally got 2 blockers on her there. See whether this is an adjustment by the Thunderbirds.
That was Brock's first attack error of the evening. Somehow, that's not an ace. We are still going. Gruel powers it out the hands of Torres, and UBC has cut the lead to 5.
Now, how much has the energy in this building shifted in the last few points? You can feel UBC, you can feel the fans coming to life here. Suddenly, we have a game.
Crowd definitely wanting the Thunderbirds to give them something to cheer for here. Roar over the middle. Pyatt nearly blocked. They go right back to Grace Pyatt. Good dig there by Pettit. Now Borowski from the back row. Straight at Faust. Ainsworth off the hands of the block, and she gets another kill.
Well, Ainsworth can't be stopped, really. Even when they are getting blockers on her, it's hard to really square up whatever she's doing right now. The big right hand's able to attack all parts of the court, and she's really been the most dynamic Badger offensively so far.
Another substitution for Brock as Mira Sayel has now checked in to serve.
And we have an email here.
As Jane Robertson gets the kill.
Yes, we've got some fan mail for McKenna Knox on the team for Brock. We've not seen her yet, but she's got some fans out there. They'd love to shout her out. They're watching from Burlington. So thank you for tuning in.
And McKenna Knox, a rookie outside hitter, rather rookie setter from Burlington, Ontario. All of the Brock Badgers are from Ontario. That's a high bump set up to Madison Tuck. Her first swing of the night goes too long. It's now 17-13, the closest it's been since the first few points of the match.
Tough one for the first swing when that ball's back behind you and behind the attack line. Not much to be done with that one.
Gruel now with the serve. War puts it right up on the attack line for Foss, unable to get the kill. Gruel from about the same spot. Good dig there by the number 9 on Brock. Ainsworth, sideline. She has been the number 1 option here so far tonight, and you wouldn't expect Brock to stop at the moment.
Well, no kidding. And Hannah, how difficult is it as a right-handed hitter to sort of turn the way that she has and use that left sideline even when she's hitting from the left side?
Yeah, it's definitely a skill that many players at this level do have, but she's like almost next level with her line shot.
Robertson nearly blocked by Jovetic, but it's still live. They reverse course to Pettit. Good dig by Torres. UBC has a third opportunity. That is right up at the net. And Brock took advantage off a miss set by UBC.
Joe's forced to step in there as the setter tried to pass that was up over her head. That was a pretty tough one. And that point, you could again feel the momentum shifting back the way of the Badgers, and that's going to prompt a timeout from UBC, their final one.
Yeah, UBC had cut it to 4. It was 17-13 before these last couple of points from the Badgers. They had a nice run there. They've been down by as many as 8 here in the first set, but question of whether it's a little too late for them to make a comeback here in the first.
Well, I mean, Brock's pace has fallen off a little bit offensively, but they're still hitting about 480 so far. So really phenomenal for the Badgers. They started so strong, and even though you felt the momentum shift back to the home team, even though you felt that crowd come alive, they took it right back. So a lot of resiliency here from the Badgers early on. A very balanced attack and so fundamentally sound that they're going to be a tough team to stack up runs against.
Yeah, Brock acting like they've been here before when they're not a program that has had much national success, at least until Coach Steve Delaney took over a few years ago. They were more of a middle-of-the-pack team in the OUA, but over the last 3 seasons, 45-7 conference record in the OUA, back-to-back OUA champs, back-to-back appearance at nationals, and trying to make it further than they have in any season before with a win tonight. That is a service error coming out of the timeout for Sarah Rohr.
Well, you mentioned it's their first time playing here as well, and the unfamiliarity, it does kind of cut both ways. You know, they're here in unfamiliar, unfriendly confines. They're playing teams they don't know, but they're also a bit of a mystery to the 4 Canada West teams who all know each other so well.
And that is an ace for Jade Robertson. The first ace for either team tonight.
I was hoping we were going to see the replay on that one. That couldn't have been closer for Robertson on that.
She'll try again this time. Faust is there. Now Dick down the sideline. That ball bounces over, and a net violation is called on Kovacs. UBC initially celebrated, but she reached a little bit too far on that one.
Some incredible athleticism there by Kovacs to have the extra touch, but maybe just a little too ambitious and aggressive.
Brock now 5 points away from taking this first set. Kovacs having to really push it across, unable to get the kill. Now Dick gets it off the hands, and Brock is back up by 6. As now the big middle blocker, Claire Cosarini, is checking in. Made her return to the lineup in February. Has played more limited minutes off the bench since she's come back.
Well, we've seen her be a difference maker in very limited action. Sort of brings an element from the middle that we see a somewhat undersized UBC team lack at times.
She tries to get a kill immediately, is unable to do so. That swing by Faust goes too long.
Good vision there by UBC to let that one go. That one going across court, though, maybe a little bit easier to see.
Oxland now will serve. Torres gets down to it. Now Dick. Great dig there by Jost to keep it alive. Now Pettit. Dugout on the other side. Faust gets it off the hands of Borowski.
Great swing by Faust. Yeah, she used the hands well. We haven't seen much of her, but she might be coming alive here for Brock.
And now Bella Samadzada will check in for Brock. Listed as a libero, but being brought in as a serving specialist here.
The captain, Hansen, also back in for UBC.
That serve goes too long. UBC still with a little bit of life as Jovetic will check right back in for the Badgers. It is Pettit at the line.
Haven't really seen a long serving run from either team. Badgers someone at the beginning. UBC could use one now.
It's set up for Dick. Cosarini taps it back across, but this time Grace Pyatt over the middle, one-on-one, gets the better of Cosarini.
We haven't seen either team feeding the middles too often. You think if anybody's going to get their share of sets, though, it's going to be Pyatt, and she has been effective in limited opportunities so far.
Dick now with the serve. Oxland to Cosarini, sent right back. One of the top blockers in all of Ontario, Pyatt, with the rejection.
Well, we don't see UBC using the middles too often, but it had also worked, again, in limited opportunities here. But you're going up against one of the best in Pyatt. She was also come up huge. She won the Quigley Cup with a block, in fact, in that big comeback over Queens.
Set point now for the Badgers. Issy Robertshaw, the rookie setter, who has checked in for potentially the final point here of the set. She now tries to set up Borowski right off the net. It's ruled that it did touch a Brock hand. Now Payson paints the end line beautifully.
Yeah, Payson dropped her pinky on that one and hit the perfect spot.
UBC does still need 6 in a row if they are to have a chance here in this set. Cosarini, the one at the line. That one goes well too long, and that is how our first set will end, with a score of 25-18, and Brock putting on a show for a lot of that set.
Well, they sure did. I mean, they jumped out to that huge advantage, and we saw UBC try to reel them in several different times, never quite able to do so. UBC's attack percentage remained very low, under 200 over the course of the set, so a little more efficiency on offense. Hannah, you pointed out the first pass, which got a little better as that set went on, but seems like something that the Thunderbirds could improve on. On the other side, Brock, I mean, they were just so consistent. They came out like a house on fire. Sure, UBC did manage to get back into it, but they really never felt all that close, like the Badgers were totally in danger despite all the energy from this crowd. So the Thunderbirds are going to have to start a lot stronger if they want to compete with the OUA champs.
So Brock takes set 1, 25-18. You're watching the 2023 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Mikasa on CBC. We are about a minute away from the beginning of the second set here in War Memorial Gym. The crowd trying to will on the UBC Thunderbirds, who are now down 1-0 to the Brock Badgers. You can see Coach Doug Reimer there in the huddle, one of the most decorated coaches in all of U Sports. And on the other side, Steve Delaney, a newcomer, but quickly making his mark here in women's volleyball.
Yeah, 5 seasons, 3 Coach of the Years for Steve Delaney, not too shabby. And it's really been a resurgence. I used to do plenty of the play-by-play for what was then Ryerson 7 or 8 years ago. And this is before Delaney, and Badgers weren't as much of a player in the OUA championships. Saw a lot of Queens around that time, but now Brock is certainly making their mark. And what a statement here against the home side, against a team in UBC that had been nationally ranked early in the year and has plenty of veteran experience as well as the home court advantage.
This is actually UBC's first match in 3 weeks since they were eliminated in the Canada West quarterfinals by Manitoba. A bit of an unusually long break. And Hannah, obviously you didn't play at the U Sports National Championship level, but in your time at Douglas College, was it sometimes a bit hard to shake off that rust if you've had that long of a break?
I think definitely, yeah. It's so different if they would have, qualified. They played great all season, and their ranking, the Thunderbirds, was great. And now that they're hosting, they do get the opportunity to be here at Nationals. I think they deserved it throughout the season. Unfortunately, in that quarterfinal, they fell, but hopefully they'll be able to bounce back here in this set.
While we were talking, Lauren Ainsworth continued her strong start to this match with an ace, although she followed it with a service error.
And Ainsworth was absolutely dominant. She was the most aggressive player in that first set. 13 attacks, 9 kills out of them, just the one error. Beautiful 6-15 percentage, especially considering the very high usage rate.
And then Bryn Payson gives the ball right back to the side of the Badgers with a service error of her own.
Hannah, you've got obviously the technical knowledge that outstrips Jake and me by a mile. What adjustments do you think the Thunderbirds have to make here in this second set?
Well, I think it'll be a good start to get those serves over. But, yeah, that was a great pass by Payson. Off the hands by Pettit. That's what you want to see right there.
Pettit not trying to do too much necessarily, using that block, catching just enough to even things up here. The Thunderbirds try not to let the Badgers jump out to a big lead as they did in the first set.
Robertson with the serve for UBC. Roar tries to set up Dick on this near side, but Thunderbirds control, and they go right back to Pettit. Back-to-back kills for her. She's up to 4 on the night to lead the way for UBC.
Yeah, Pettit's playing some smart volleyball out there. She's not overcomplicating it, but she is getting the points. So that's exactly what UBC needs out there.
He's trying to shake off a tough series against Manitoba in the Canada West quarterfinals. Had just 7 kills in that second match. Already over halfway there early on tonight, trying to add to it. The ball was bobbling right around the net, but it's still alive. Now Emily Fost gets her first kill of the night.
That was a really good swing there. Even off the deflection, that had so much steam on it that Pettit really couldn't do too much about that.
So Dick now at the line. Nearly an ace. Auckland has to play it off the netting, and it's a free ball for Brock. Over the middle, Pyatt winds and fires.
While the size of Pyatt there, you saw a couple blockers in decent position to try and challenge that, and she just seemed to hang up there for an extra second, got it right up over the block, and what looked like an easy kill. It was really quite a display of size and athleticism.
6th of the night for her. Somehow kept alive there by UBC. Roar trying to go for it herself, but Auckland sends it back. Now Fost with the powerful swing, and UBC's scrambling is finally undone.
Well, Hannah, what are you seeing with the UBC serve receive here? Because they seem uncomfortable with pretty much every serve that's coming across the net right now.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with their serve receive. Jost is a very strong passer, the libero for the Thunderbirds, and so is Payson. I'm not really sure what's happening.
That was a better reception there by Jost, and then Pettit gets it down. Pyatt tapping her chest after that one, thinking that she should have done better with the attack.
Hey, listen, the blockers were there, but that was a good, clean attack from UBC. Great first pass, beautiful set, hard swing. Sometimes if you worry a little less, I think, about ball placement, just get back to the fundamentals and executing, good things will happen more often than not.
Auckland with the serve. Roar really has to run over to get to that one. Now Auckland will put it up for Pettit. She's been a featured player here to start the second, but the call goes the way of the Badgers.
That one was super close. I thought that was in personally. I don't have the best view. The lines people definitely do, so I'll trust them on that one.
So it will be Fost with the serve. Auckland avoiding committing a net violation there. The ball's right up at the net. Roar can't get the kill. Back set all the way to Pettit. Good dig there by Fost. Now it's up for Ainsworth off the hands. And Vermette from the attack line. Great diving dig by Ainsworth. Bit of a longer rally here. UBC with another opportunity for Pettit. Did she get the touch? Yes, she did.
Well, that's probably the best rally of the evening so far, Jake, and it pulls UBC to within 1. We haven't seen any hitter in UBC really stand out in that first set. Maybe it's Pettit here in set number 2. She's looking a lot sharper right now. That was a nice swing.
She has been very strong at home this season, averaging nearly 3.5 kills per set in War Memorial Gym as Ainsworth gets the kill. 10 on the night. This is just the second time all season that she's had double digits in kills. We've only played about a set and a quarter, if even that.
Yeah, pretty remarkable, and we're still early on in this game, as you said.
Payson trying to get a kill, can't do so. They go right back to Ainsworth through the Badgers. And she is not cooled off in between sets.
Well, this is what you see at these national championships. Sometimes unexpected players become stars in front of our very eyes, and perhaps that is what's going on right now with Lauren Ainsworth.
Auckland with the bump set up to Payson. She slams it home.
Payson being very effective right now when called upon. Looks like both of these offenses are really kind of starting to find their rhythm a little bit. Some nice sets, and that was a good clean swing from Payson.
Kovacs now with the serve. Roar gets it up to Ainsworth, off speed attack, and it drops. UBC discombobulated a little off the deflection.
Yeah, UBC reached back to get that one, but Auckland was already coming in to dig the ball, so no one was there to get the deflection.
3-point lead now for Brock. Back set to Vermette, and she gets the kill. Erica Vermette has been quiet tonight. That's just her first kill.
Subbed out in that first set, getting a chance to play here a little longer in this second one. And now a chance to get UBC what would, well, they only have one ace so far, and the serving consistency has been a little up and down.
Rohr puts it up for Ainsworth, and that is a wipe. So right back into the hands of Brock's number 2 at the service line.
Almost running out of things to say about her right now, Jake. She's just been nearly flawless and getting it done in so many different ways here for Brock.
Auckland puts it up for Payson going cross court.
Yeah, Auckland and Payson have quite the connection. I know they're really close, they're quite good friends, but the setter-hitter connection between the two is really fun to watch.
5 kills and 3 digs for the UBC captain so far tonight as she goes back to serve, one of the 6 graduating seniors on this UBC team. That ball right up at the net. Rohr unable to get it back to the Brock side, and a net violation is called on the Badgers. Well, actually, it was a back row attack violation called on Brock with Faust running in.
Got that great replay there from the net cam. And now UBC's got a chance to tie things up.
Line drive serve, great dig by Aaliyah Torres. And then a block! Elise Pettit trying to fire up the crowd, and we are tied at 10.
Massive block by Pettit at a very crucial moment. The Brock coach is getting fired up on the sideline, and then Elise shut down Brock on that one.
You see a great angle on the replay as UBC trying to get the momentum back. From the back row, Ainsworth. Jade Robertson with the Matumbo finger wag after that one. And a timeout, the first of the night, is called by Brock, as this might be UBC's first lead of the night.
I do believe it is, and this building hasn't been louder than it is right now. We see the buckets, we see a lot happening as fans are packed in here, War Memorial Gym, and they have just come alive with the home team taking a 1-point lead.
Yeah, Brock is still hitting very well, 357 here in the second set, but the difference is UBC's offense has picked up after hitting just 176 in the first. They were up to 375 here early in the second. It's been an attacking showcase really here tonight.
Well, we look at some of the stats in the second set, the kills, the errors, the attacks, the percentage, nearly identical, which is really how it's felt. These two teams, you could switch the jerseys, you wouldn't know who's who in this second set, nearly indistinguishable, and neither can pull away from the other. Seems like the Thunderbirds have found their footing, and this one is certainly anyone's set.
How about a big round of applause for the Thunderbird marching band for being here this evening?
Get a shot of the UBC men's team there, representing some of the louder fans.
Looks like they've got shirts with faces of some of the women's team's players on them, really showing some volleyball solidarity here on campus. As we get going out of the timeout, Faust gets the wipe. Bounced all the way back and nearly in play, but out of the sideline. The crowd not happy with that call, but at least from here it looked pretty clear to be out of bounds.
It got some net, I think, but it did look like the right call to me as well.
So Jovetic will serve. That clips the tape. Backs up by Oxen to Robertson, and that ball is somehow going to be kept in play, but it went back in between the antenna. So called out of play for a UBC point.
Great hustle there by number 9 on Brock, though, to go and get that ball. You don't often see players actually contact it, but it was out of play.
So UBC retakes a very slim lead, and Robertson serves over the middle. Pyatt! Ainsworth has obviously been stealing the show so far, but Grace Pyatt has been incredibly efficient in her own right, the two of them providing a massive 1-2 punch for the Badgers tonight as Madison Tuck checks in once again.
Yeah, Pyatt's been a threat at the net for sure for Brock. I think UBC was still kind of in motion when she contacted the ball, so really hard to make a dig if you're still moving.
Pettit. It's been her second set on the side of UBC as she keeps her own offensive mojo going.
Speaking of how hard it is to make a play when you're moving, did you see how far Oxland came for that one? Sprinting across the court, popping up a perfect back set. That was beautiful.
Pettit coming in from a tight angle to get that one. As Oxland now serves, and that is an ace for UBC, their second.
First multi-point advantage and a rare miscommunication on the serve receive there from the Badgers. They're talking it out though. Still lots of good body language here on the Brock side, even though it feels like the Thunderbirds now have the momentum.
This time it is controlled well by Fost. Roar going for it herself. Jost gets down to it. Now Vermette gets the kill.
What a set by Oxland too. You mentioned her back set, but she's on point with that one. Vermette knew how high, knew everything. That was a quick one.
So Oxland trying to get a service run going. Roar over the middle, Pyatt. That is now 8 kills on just 11 attack attempts for Grace Pyatt.
It feels like every time they go to her, good things happen, and I'm a very biased former middle, but I always think, why not feed the middles a little more, Hannah? Why not? It's like a security blanket out there.
No, Toby, you're so right. The middle is key to running your offense. If you don't run the middle.
That's a joust at the net. A second time between Roar and Vermette. Ball is still alive. Ainsworth off the hands, but Payson is there. Vermette has a chance to get a full swing. Brock calling for it, and they do get it.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. Oh, so close, though. Felt like the roof was about to blow off this place if she'd gotten that point cleanly.
A let's go T-Birds chant ringing out as Brock looks to tie us up once again, unable to do so as Emily Fost commits the service error. Really the only place Brock has been inefficient so far tonight with their 5 service errors and just 1 ace so far. So that puts Pettit back at the line with the standing serve. Roar gets down to her knees to get it to Ainsworth. Career high, 13 kills for Lauren Ainsworth.
And these two teams just can't get any separation here. Felt like Brock was trying to pull away for the first half of this set. UBC wouldn't let them. UBC trying to pull away here, and despite how loud it is in this building right now, Brock seems unfazed, and they have a chance to tie it back up.
For the second time tonight, Mira Sayel checks in to serve. Kovacs over the middle, right at Sayel. Now Ainsworth off the hands.
Ainsworth is unstoppable tonight.
Seems like almost every attack is going to either Ainsworth or Pyatt, and it's working for the Badgers as now Lucy Borowski is checking in once again for UBC. Sayel powers it off the tape.
Tough miss there for Brock, but they are certainly showing a lot of resiliency on their side right now. And beyond Ainsworth, it almost feels like they've got a couple of tricks left in the bag as well. We'll see whether they bust out something different here in their offense to try and put it over the top, because the second set would be crucial. UBC really needing it to stay alive, and Brock could have a stranglehold on the home team here if they're able to pull this one out. A lot riding here on set number 2.
And it's a bit of a conundrum because normally you would want to diversify a little bit so it's not just the same couple of players getting all the attacks, but when it's working so well, you don't really have much of a reason yet to do something too different, and they go right back to Ainsworth again, this time unable to get the kill. Payson off the hands. Set up by Roar over the middle. This time it's Jovetic. Ball bouncing around all over the place, and Borowski with the cleanup duty just pounds it home.
A little bit of backyard volleyball there, a little back and forth. Sometimes the sloppy rallies are the most fun ones, and it ended with an exclamation mark from Borowski.
Kovacs right at Torres. Great job by her getting down for that one. Ainsworth gets the wipe. Not often you get a wipe from someone trying to get a back row dig, but it bounced all the way back across and out of play. As now Sadie Dick checks back in for Tuck. And Faust, or rather that Sarah Rohr, going back to serve. Oxen with the long back set to Borowski. Jost with the diving dig. Now Payson gets it off the hands of Dick.
Telling you, Oxland-Payson, the combo, no matter what, it seems to work out.
Well, when we look at a point like that where you've sort of got the block on the way down, do you think that's intentional by Payson there to just use the block to get the points?
100%, yeah, I think so.
So another substitution for the Badgers for the first time tonight. Gigi Markotic is checking in, replacing Jovetic in the front row. They go outside to Dick, handled by Jost. And now down the middle, Bryn Payson continuing to keep things rolling.
She is absolutely heating up right now, and she's getting it done so many different ways. We've seen the big swings a lot earlier. Right now she's using finesse, great ball placement, taking the blocks to her advantage, showing the versatility from the fifth year and the captain.
14 of UBC's 24 kills coming from Pettit and Payson with the rejection, and she was fired up after that one.
Yeah, the whole gym's fired up after that block by Payson. And it'll draw the timeout.
The crowd, many people here on their feet after that one. As UBC with a 4-point lead, 4 points away, as you see on the replay. Ainsworth sent all the way back by Payson.
I mean, that is the perfect sort of momentum block. A player who's the leader on your team, a veteran who's been really the catalyst offensively recently, stepping up, making a one-on-one block in that situation with really an emphatic block at that. A huge momentum point, I think, here for the Thunderbirds.
I couldn't agree more with you both. That was huge for the Thunderbirds. And also a reminder to those of you watching, you can email us and tell us where you're watching from and who you're cheering for. usportschampionship@gmail.com. That's usportschampionship@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you all.
And we got a shout out from some UBC parents and fans watching online from Quinte West, Ontario. Dom and Stacy saying, "Go Birdies." So if you want to chime in, that is once again usportschampionship@gmail.com.
UBC now coming out of the timeout. It's Borowski at the line. Looking to close out this set. That won't help him do it. It's a service error, just the fourth of the night for UBC. I'll put Ainsworth back at the line. Tough one for UBC to handle. They give up a free ball. The Badgers push it out to Faust. Diving dig by Borowski. Now Payson off the hands of Torres all the way back to the UBC side. Coming around the outside, Robertson gets the kill.
The line judge changing their mind on that one. Did look like based on the rotation it was deflected. What a massive turn of events.
Definitely some hesitation there by the officiating crew, but they give the point to UBC. And now Payson will serve. Rohr has plenty of time to set up Dick, and plenty of time to get the block. Elise Pettit, as UBC has stepped up their defensive intensity.
Another huge block by the T-Birds. That set was a little bit tight for sure. Hard for Dick to do much with that. So hopefully Brock can adjust.
Now 2 points away are the Thunderbirds, but they give it back to Brock once again as Jovetic will check back in and she will serve. almost now or never for Brock here in this set. Auckland high bump set to Pettit off the hands and down for the point to set up set point for the Thunderbirds.
It really feels like UBC has started imposing their will. They're running their offense how they want to, making Brock adjust if they need to at all. And even when the blockers are getting there, Pettit, they're using her great size to go over top and give the Badgers no chance on that point.
Trinity Selecki has checked in for the first time tonight for UBC up in the front as Robertson serves off the hands of Ainsworth. It will be a free ball for UBC. Borowski with the set over the middle. Kayla Kovacs. We are tied up at 1.
Wow, what a play. Borowski able to transition seamlessly from attacking straight into setting, and she set the middle on that one. Well done by Borowski.
What a second set there from UBC, recovering, looking like a completely different team from the first one. Maybe the fans were the difference here because that one was tight right until the end, and then suddenly the Thunderbirds came alive and looked to be the better team. Can't wait for set number 3, Jake.
Yeah, it is UBC who takes set 2 with a score of 25-19. You're watching the 2023 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Mikasa here on CBC.
Get the stories behind the glory. Watch, listen, stream, read CBC Sports.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Are you on break?
We are a couple of minutes away from the beginning of the third set here in War Memorial Gym. You're watching the 2023 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championships presented by Mikasa on CBC. This is the third quarterfinal match. We saw Trinity Western and Dalhousie advance to the semifinals on the left side of the bracket earlier tonight. And to start the evening session, we have UBC and Brock. The winner of this will take on the winner of Mount Royal versus Manitoba, which will be our final match tonight. Scheduled to start at 8 p.m., although if this match goes long like it could, that might have to get pushed back a little bit.
Oh, Jake, this is feeling like a 5-setter right now. I'll tell you what, both of these teams are coming out hot. We saw in that first set, Brock certainly looked like the stronger team right off the bat, but UBC found their footing as that set went on. The second set, so even, and with UBC eventually taking it.
Let me show you how to do it.
The nominees for the 2023 U Sports Women's Volleyball Outstanding Player of the Year are, en nomination pour le prix de l'athlète par excellence de l'année 2023 en volleyball féminin U-Sport, des sports universitaires de l'Atlantique from the AUS, Lucy Glenn Carter, Université Dalhousie University. Du Réseau du sport étudiant du Québec from the RSEQ, Sabrina Maillet, Université du Québec à Montréal, UQAM. Du sport universitaire de l'Ontario from the OUA, Janelle Albert, Université Western University. Et de l'Association Ouest Canadienne from Canada West, Gabrielle Attia, Université de la Fraser Valley, Fraser Valley University. La lauréate du prix de l'athlète par excellence de l'année en volleyball féminin U-Sport est, the winner of the U-Sports Outstanding Player of the Year Award in women's volleyball is, Gabrielle Attia, Université de la Fraser Valley, University of Fraser Valley.
Two teams coming out to take the court once again. There is a change to the UBC lineup to start the set as Lucy Borowski remains out on the court in place of Erica Vermette. Same 7 for Brock.
We saw Borowski sub in for Vermette each of the first 2 sets, closing them looking very strong, particularly in set number 2. Doing a little bit of everything.
3 digs for her, along with a couple of kills and a big assist late on in the set.
If we look at some of the numbers here from that second set, the hitting percentage just skyrocketing for UBC, almost a 250 jump there between set number 1 and set number 2. Pretty consistent there from Brock, a little bit of a dip in the percentages, but overall they played quite well. Just finished a little soft, so we'll see how the Badgers respond, bounce back. Big test of mental toughness here in this unfriendly environment.
And to start us off, good dig there by Jost to keep it alive. However, the bump up to the net by Borowski a little bit too long, and Brock gets the first point.
Maybe trying to do a little bit too much there. That was a nearly impossible position to try and get a proper set from. Once in a while, you just got to give up the free ball and live to fight another point.
So it's Jovetic with the serve. Again, the ball right up at the net, so a couple of UBC miscues here early on, giving points to the Badgers.
The one thing you don't want to do is be giving away points. The unforced errors have been few and far between because these are the best of the best right now. They've been largely very sharp those first 2 sets.
That serve clips the tape, but UBC controls, and Pettit fires home the first point of the third for UBC.
Yeah, Pettit coming through with her experience on that one. That's such a hard swing, coming from behind you over top of your shoulder, and to finish it off like that with such a hard swing is just amazing.
So Robertson will serve for UBC over the middle. Pyatt didn't see as much of her later on in the second, but throughout tonight she has been very efficient.
And the Badgers look like a different team when she's rotated into the front row, really on both sides. She's not only got a size advantage, but she's really got incredible mobility as well.
Dick clips the tape on her serve. Pettit off-speed attack, diving dig by Faust. Right up at the net, sent back by Kovacs. Faust again keeps it alive. Sent over. And now Pettit fires it back across, can't get the kill. Pyatt, they finally stop her at the net due to the Thunderbirds, but they give up a free ball. However, the ball just drops. Ainsworth was left frozen. Not often you see something like that.
No, that's a tough ball because it was a free ball, so technically the person on the right there should have dropped back, and they didn't. Just a miscommunication, I think, for Brock.
Dick was trying to leave it for Ainsworth, but Ainsworth expected her teammate to go and grab it. So after that, Brock trying to recover, and that'll certainly help as Emily Faust fires a cross-court kill that bounces up into the crowd.
A very big swing there going across court there from Faust. And we'll see little things like miscommunications like that. As deflating as they can be, they're also highly fixable. Wouldn't expect to see too much more of that.
Pettit. That's a powerful kill going back the other direction as Elise Pettit has started to find her form after finding things a little bit tougher in the first set.
She's really looked better and better as this game has gone on. See if she can make a difference serving as well.
Roar with the set to Frost in the back row, and that is sent back. The duo of Kovacs and Payson combined on that occasion.
I haven't seen much of the action setting to the back row. I haven't seen that pipe utilized too much, and that was a heck of a swing. But UBC, they seem very prepared. That front row defense particularly, they seem to be anticipating what Brock's doing better and better as the match has gone on.
And that is another kill for Grace Pyatt. She will go back to serve. Her and Ainsworth combining for 27 of Brock's 35 kills tonight. It has been a dominant showing from the two of them. Nearly getting the ace there was Pyatt. Borowski just misses the end line on that back foot swing.
Payson just got that one up, but the T-Birds weren't quite able to take control of that point. Payson's sister is watching. She says, "Go Birds go," all the way from Argentina. Thanks for tuning in.
12,000 kilometers away.
Borowski fires it down the sideline, can't get the kill. Dick trying to do the same. Oxland a little bit late getting to that one as Kovacs wanted to leave it to her, but maybe would have been better off going for it herself. As you can see here, there was just too much ground to try and recover for the UBC setter.
Feels like Oxland's just been flying around the court tonight as well.
She now sets it up for Borowski once again, deflected by Ainsworth, and now over the middle, Jovetic. Pettit is there, set up for Kovacs, and it's sent back. Christina Jovetic receiving congratulations.
Really big block there from Jovetic, just her second solo block so far. We've seen Pyatt often making a big difference on both sides of the ball as a middle. If you get both of your big middles going for Brock, that's going to be awfully tough for UBC to counter. Does seem like the Badgers do have a size advantage, at least up the middle.
That prompted a timeout to be called by UBC here early on with Brock up 8-4. And Hannah, we have some more emails coming in, do we?
We do. We have some fans watching from Niagara. They say, "Let's go Brock." Number 9 and 7 are their faves in particular. Go Badgers. That's from Michaela Mercer, I believe. Thank you for tuning in and for sending us the mail.
Well, right now here it has been Brock, the better team in this third set. A little sloppier to start from both of these squads. Perhaps everybody a little wound up, and then you see the odd mistakes happen. But the Badgers have continued to be consistent. And even in that second set when UBC did take it, looked like the Thunderbirds had to be at their absolute best to beat this Brock team.
UBC's offense was elite in that second set. In fact, they have more attack errors here in the third than they did in the entire second.
Wow.
Showing that bit of a slower start that you mentioned. We'll see if they can return to some of that form that they flashed in the last set. Payson doing just that. This is as offensively involved Bryn Payson has been in any match that I can remember, at least in this second semester.
That's true, Jake. You and I've done a lot of these UBC games. You almost think Kara Kovacs has been that other attacker a lot of the time. A little more passive so far, and Payson, the captain, really showing up in a huge spot.
It's where you want your captain to really show her stuff as Brock gets a nice off-speed attack for the kill. That was Jovetic getting another point on the board.
That was just a mental point fully. There was a hole in the defense. She saw it perfectly and placed that ball. Great decision making.
Roar with the serve, and that drops for an ace, just the second of the night for the Badgers. Sarah Roar, she already has 31 assists tonight, and she now has her first ace.
Yeah, that one was looking long by Roar, but the Thunderbirds went for it.
Oxland puts it up for Payson, sent back. That is the double block of Dick and Jovetic on the far side.
UBC right now having a little trouble getting their offense going. The Badgers seem so prepared. They're really reading a lot of these passes, and they seem to be ready for the ball almost before the UBC hitters are.
Borowski fires that one over the head of Torres. might have thought it was going long, ducked down a little bit, but it got right to the back corner.
Yeah, I don't know if Torres thought that was going out or if she was just protecting her face from that one. That was a powerful swing.
That puts Borowski back to serve, nearly handcuffing the Badgers' reception there, and Jost lets that shot sail long.
Nice twirl out of the way there for Jost. She's done a very good job. She's had a couple of tricky ones, trouble with a couple of passes there early on, but she certainly has the vision. She knows this court well also.
Rohr puts it up for Ainsworth. Sent back by UBC. Now Dick off the hands of Jost and down for the kill. That is just her 5th of the night. Normally a much more featured player, but with how well Ainsworth and Pyatt have been rolling, she's not had her number called as much, as we now have a double substitution. Issy Robert-Shaw is checking in for Auckland, and Vermette is also coming in replacing Borowski.
We did see a fair amount of Robert-Shaw, some opportunities to shine there for the first year due to some injuries and other things, and she's really stepped in seamlessly.
Member of the Canada West All-Rookie team is Robert-Shaw, as the Badgers commit the service error.
Glimpse of the future here for UBC with a lot of graduating seniors on this squad. Robert-Shaw could well be a Thunderbird for years to come.
Payson now with the serve. Rohr right over the middle to Jovetic, and she's been getting more involved offensively here in the third.
Brock is doing a very good job of running their middles, even if it's not necessarily a hard hit every time. It's off speed. They're doing it well, keeping UBC's middle blocker honest.
Jovetic now serves that ball right up at the net, fired home by Faust. That's as easy of a kill as she's going to get all night. And Brock has a 14-8 advantage.
It really feels like that first pass is what's setting UBC behind right now, and maybe the difference in this set. Hannah, I'm not sure what you're seeing. This was an issue early on. They seem to correct, and it's back to being an issue again.
Yeah, definitely. Taking care of the ball on the first contact is huge in volleyball, and we've seen UBC do it really well. We've also seen them struggle with those first contacts, so I'm sure they're going to try and clean it up here.
They've been helped out by a couple of recent Brock errors. However, they then give it right back, as now Claire Cosarini will check in for UBC, and Madison Tuck will come in to serve for Brock. But Coach Doug Reimer already making 3 substitutions here, just about halfway, maybe not quite halfway through the third, but trying to find a spark.
Well, Reimer is experienced as it comes, usually about as calm as it comes, and he's relatively animated there on the sideline and really trying to, I think, find what's working here for his team.
Vermette fires it off of Torres, just at the net, push back to the UBC side. Now Pettit winds and fires and hits the tape. Didn't get it over, so a double touch violation is called.
Just a little out of sorts here right now for UBC, but the body language still looks good. The spirits seem high, but Brock feels a little relentless right now.
That's a high bump set to Pettit. She punches it over, but kept alive by Brock, and Faust somehow kept alive. I thought that was a block for sure. We keep going, and Vermette now ends it. But what a fantastic defensive stand there by the Badgers.
Yeah, wow. The fans here in War Memorial Gym, there's a big crowd, lots of people cheering. However, we do have lots of mail coming in, and there is a lot of people online, lots of you watching, cheering for Brock. So we'll try and shout you out when we can.
The action, of course, continuous here in War Memorial Gym. Is that, will it drop for an ace? No, it won't, but UBC gets a free ball. Auckland, who is checked back in, gets it to Borowski, who also has come back in, and then it's Pettit, who's been here all along, getting the kill.
That's right, and what a smart play there by Pettit. She saw the matchup. She had the much smaller Sarah Rohr on her, the setter, and she just knew she had to get the angle right, and there wasn't too much Rohr could do giving up that much size.
So after a very short rest, Robert Shaw and Vermette are on the bench once again, and Auxland serves it across and serving it over the net there. Grace Pyatt with another kill.
Badgers just not making mistakes right now, and UBC cleaning things up too, but we're going back and forth only after Brock had taken that 5-6 point lead, and UBC just having trouble reeling them in because they've been so fundamentally sound.
Pettit from the attack line. Caught both Tuck and I believe Faust frozen in the back row.
And no one went up either. Pettit had anywhere, 0 block with her on that one, and she used that.
Pettit now with the serve. UBC trying to make a comeback here in the third. Ainsworth set back. Costarini and Borowski combine at the net.
Yeah, they looked extremely prepared for that. Looked like that was a little telegraph there by the Badgers. And Costarini, she got up there. Looks like perhaps both of them got a hand on that, but there was nowhere to go.
Roar now over the middle. Pyatt. 13 kills on the night for Grace Pyatt. She only reached double digits in that category twice in the regular season. She's now done it 3 straight occasions. OUA semifinal, OUA final, national quarterfinals. Talk about stepping up at the right time.
What a time to find your offensive game. Seems surprising to me as somebody who hasn't got to watch her all year that she hasn't done this more often, because it looks so automatic. It looks so easy for her in a lot of ways. It almost feels like a free point whenever they go her way. She's been phenomenal.
That was a service error by Mira Sayal, who had just checked back in for Brock, and she's now returned to the bench with Pyatt back in. Costarini with the serve for UBC. Now Ainsworth. She's been quieter here in the third, but they dial up her number on this near side, and she gets the kill.
Yeah, Ainsworth is playing great. I wouldn't be surprised if, since Pyatt's no longer in the front row, I think Ainsworth is going to be their go-to for the next couple points. So the Thunderbirds should be keying on her for sure.
Auxland puts it for Borowski, who just sends it across for an easy handle for Brock, and that Sadie Dick with the powerful kill on the far side.
Yeah, Dick so far, haven't maybe seen a ton of her, but man, when she swings, you remember, because she's got quite a lot of power behind it there. So that's one of those points where you put the exclamation mark behind it, because it felt especially big, and it's prompted a timeout.
Second and final timeout of the set for UBC. And really so far tonight, of course, we talk about how elite UBC was offensively in that second set, but they've been much more up and down. Brock has been incredibly consistent. They've hit 300 or better in all 3 sets so far, including over 400 in both the first and so far here in the third. UBC has just not been able to slow them down.
Yeah, I think the Torres to Roar combo, the libero to setter combo on Brock is working really well for them. They're both really able to take care of the ball and just put it up, let the hitters do the work. So that's been phenomenal for Brock so far.
That's 2 of their 4 first team all OUA All-Stars. It's interesting on these webcasts because the libero isn't involved in finishing every point. I almost feel like, Jake, we sometimes undersell their contributions. But Torres in particular, I'm so impressed with the passes that she makes on hits that are away from her body. You know, she's very compact, and yet anything within that range, she seems to get a really solid pass on and doing a really good job to make certain points that look impossible, more than just possible, but certainly allow Brock to set up their offense the way they'd want to, and what would otherwise be a free ball at best, I think, for most people.
Torres with 6 digs so far tonight. On the other side, Jost, the Canada West Libero of the Year, with a match high 10 digs, as that served by Roar sails harmlessly high and wide.
Well, you mentioned the numbers. I mean, UBC only hitting 136 here. Kind of amazing that they're within 5 points at this point. It looks like if they could just find it, they still have a chance in this set.
Borowski sends it across, now backs it to Ainsworth. Bryn Payson, return to sender. That's the second time she's stopped Ainsworth.
What a great block. We can see it again here by Payson, timed perfectly.
Brock this time goes out wide to Dick. And that is a net violation called on UBC.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one in a big spot. Haven't seen that too much tonight. But it feels like UBC needs a run, and they need it right now to have a chance.
Just 4 points away are the Badgers from going up 2-1. Back set, Robertson slams it home.
Wow, what a great, Robertson is so good on the step. When the middle comes around and hits from the right side, we call it a step, and Robertson is like unstoppable with that one.
Don't see UBC pull that one out too much, but wow, that is a big spot to do it. They executed the timing perfectly.
4 kills and 4 blocks now for Robertson. Those blocks are a match high. And there is another block. Robertson with her 5th, joined by Pettit. And UBC has cut the lead to 3, which will prompt a timeout to be called by Coach Delaney on the Brock sideline.
We have a nice email here from Hugo who says, thanks to the webcast team and the referees, lines people, scorers, everybody at the whole tournament. Hugo is also a ref and knows that it can be a tough job and is really happy so far. So thanks for that, Hugo. Thanks for that feedback, and please keep sending your emails.
I feel like that's the first email we've gotten where they're cheering on the broadcast. Didn't mention Brock, didn't mention UBC.
Oh, cheering on the refs as well.
Oh, yes, cheering on the refs too.
Cheering on the refs and lines people and scorers.
Love it. They are doing a very good job. This is a high-pressure environment, and especially here when you're in a national championship and the home team is involved, that's when the mettle of the officials are often tested. They're looking unflappable, and they've done a very, very nice job. Interesting here, Jake, that UBC, they've kind of clawed their way back in, and it's not even that their offense has really been figured out. It's almost like if the offense isn't working right now, what do? You just play phenomenal defense, and we're seeing the net, we're seeing the first row of UBC playing phenomenally well, and Pettit up there, along with Robertson, really leading the way.
Payson with the serve. Roar goes over the middle. Jovetic nearly another block for UBC. Foss gets it off the hands of Oxland to end that UBC run. So Jovetic will go back to serve. We also saw a substitution coming out of the timeout for the first time tonight. Madison Chimienti is in for the Badgers. She's been a featured player for a lot of this season, but has had her playing time somewhat diminished over the last few weeks. Pettit off the hands. Jovetic not happy with herself after that one, but it will be a kill for UBC.
Yeah, Jovetic on that one put out one arm, knows she should have had 2 hands on that ball, and as mentioned, she's not too happy with that one.
I know that spot. I was the middle, always getting subbed out by the libero, and when you get that chance, you just want to excel, especially on this stage. A bit of a tough one there, but she's been great otherwise.
And that's Grace Pyatt talking about great again. One-on-one over the middle, gets the best of Casarini.
Should also be noted that's a phenomenal set by Roar as well. To have that connection on a quick with the middle is just, yeah, phenomenal.
And that, I thought for a second that was going to be called an ace. I was ready to call it an ace, but the linesman right there on top of it rules it a service error. Massive call for UBC.
Yeah, from the broadcast perspective, that sure did look like it's in, but they got the better angle than us. Oxland here, good server for UBC. They need to run.
Not a great serve reception there by the Badgers, and it leads to an attack error. Not one to give up a free ball there was Dick, but sent it right into the net.
This is when you might get a little nervous here if you're Brock, because you played such a solid set. Felt like UBC's been so up and down, and yet here they are with a great chance to pull even. 2 points away.
Better reception there. Roar over the middle. Pyatt, great read. No one was on that UBC left side. 40 assists on the night for Roar.
Yeah, what a great spot by Pyatt. Jost was frustrated with that one, but Pyatt saw the opening and took it for Brock.
Ainsworth is back in, replacing Chimienti. Set point for Brock. Oxland. Pettit. Just barely kept alive for the moment at least. It flies over that Brock flag into the crowd. UBC stays alive, but 2 more set points still for the Badgers.
Valiant effort, but perfect execution there by UBC. Pettit not shrinking from the moment, just hammering that thing into the back row.
Pettit now with the serve. Roar goes over the middle once again. This time Jost is there. And now Cosarini. Somehow we're still going. Torres with the pancake dig. The crowd can't believe it. Free ball for the Badgers. Over the middle, Pyatt. Diving dig by Jost. Now Borowski down the sideline. Torres again. Ainsworth right at Jost. From the back row, Pettit. Easier control there by the Badgers. Pyatt off speed. One-handed dig by Jost. We're still going. Over the middle, Pyatt with the left hand. Bodies flying all over the court. Pyatt of no time, and the crowd is on their feet. UBC somehow, someway are still alive. That was the Libero show on that point. Oh my goodness, Jost kept it alive with an absurd dig at one point. Torres twice on the other side. What did we just see?
That was phenomenal. I don't even know. I'm like still speechless after that one. You can also see Jost, the UBC libero, kind of limping off the court, mouthing the words, "My quads are cramping." So no surprise there. She was everywhere in that rally.
Well, and we saw Brock went right back to the play that worked before with Pyatt. She looked like she had that wide open right side where she got that basically free point a couple of points ago. And suddenly there is Jost out of nowhere sprawling. I cannot believe she got to that ball. Wow.
And of course, Aaliyah Torres earlier really started the craziness with that pancake. nothing would have happened with all the drama if it wasn't for her keeping it alive initially. And that was actually Grace Pyatt's first attack error of the entire night. As after all that, Brock still has a set point. They can still close it out here. UBC 1 away from forcing extra volleyball here in a pivotal 3rd set.
Timeout's gone now for both teams too. It's up to the players.
Pettit will serve once again.
Fans getting to their feet.
Torres easily handles. Roar goes for it herself. Oxland is there. Now Borowski steps into it, nearly blocked. Jost bumps it up for Payson, and the captain ties us at 24. What a 3rd set.
Wow, great swing by Payson. That was a heavy swing by Payson through the block.
Can UBC keep the momentum going? Nearly an ace. It's all the way back on the UBC side. Borowski set back. I'm not sure whether that was Ainsworth or Pyatt, but one of them got their hands on it to set up a 4th Brock set point.
And we see the Thunderbirds here drinking in the energy from the crowd, but the Badgers are all business here, and they've got a chance to break some hearts.
Pyatt, high arcing serve controlled. Now Borowski gets the kill, and we're still going. Both teams refusing to break here in the 3rd. They know how massive a 2-1 lead would be. And it's now Cosarini, the big middle blocker with the serve. Ainsworth gets down to it. She gets it right back, nearly dropping for the kill. They go right back to Ainsworth. UBC again does just enough. Payson fires it, paints the corner. UBC set point. Wow, if that was just barely in play.
I don't know if that touched the corner, but I definitely thought it might have touched the block, skimmed off their fingers. So I'm not sure. I think it ended up being the right call, but wow.
I totally agree. I'm not sure that caught that back line, but it might have been deflected.
Now Ainsworth just gets it through the block. Cosarini bumps it up to Borowski, and it ends in favor of the Thunderbirds. They come all the way back in the 3rd, and they lead this U Sports quarterfinals matchup.
What a comeback by the T-Birds. And also middle, Cosarini with the assist, notable assist on that one. when your middle's coming to bump set you, I'll be honest, you're nervous. You don't know where that ball's always going to go. Obviously, they're all high-level players. A bump seems pretty simple, but easier said than done, and Costarini put that up perfectly.
And earlier in that set, UBC felt desperate, right? They were emptying the bench. They were trying anything that could work, and suddenly something did work, and they just clicked, and they were phenomenal to finish. That's a heartbreaking set for a couple reasons for Brock. You can tell they are not happy with the way that ended. Let's see the mental toughness here of these Badgers trying to come back and bounce back after that. This is the team, Jake, that just won the Quigley Cup after going down 2-0, though, so they're no strangers to the comeback.
So it is UBC who takes set 3 with a score of 27-25. You're watching the 2023 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Mikasa here on CBC. So after that incredible, dramatic third set, we are about ready to start the fourth. UBC up 2-1, chance to advance to the national semifinals if they're able to win this set. But as you mentioned, Brock, they've had comebacks. They had to come back in the OUA final against Queens. They've lost just 2 matches all season. They are used to winning. They definitely have it within them to pull this one out.
Lost, just 2 matches over really 2 seasons if you're looking at the regular season from the year before. So not accustomed to losing, accustomed to dramatic comebacks. They've really been so solid. It's almost felt like the way UBC has gone has sort of dictated this game. Brock's been a pretty consistently high level. Their attack just fell off a bit there near the end of the third set, which is a big reason they couldn't quite put the Thunderbirds away. But if they find that consistency and footing again, they're going to make this awfully difficult, even though they are needing to make a comeback themselves at this point.
Starting off this fourth, Payson trying to get the kill is unable to do so. Free ball for UBC. They have a chance for another attack. Borowski from the back row. That is right at Jovetic, or rather Ainsworth. And then it's the kill on the near side. Sadie Dick getting us underway here in the fourth.
We'll see here in this fourth set if they really go back to feeding Lauren Ainsworth as they did more in the first couple. I mean, she's got a game-high 37 attacks. She's had her share of opportunities, but it felt like she was certainly very impactful in those first 2 sets, and saw a little less of her as that third set went on.
So a quick 2-0 start now for Brock with Ainsworth at the line.
Only 2 aces so far for the Badgers. Ainsworth, though, has one of those.
Oxland with the back set. Robertson runs along the tape and drops for the kill. She's not had her number called too often, but when she has, it's been very efficient.
And when she has, it's usually on that step play we've seen. She's so successful with that play, it makes sense that the Thunderbirds are going to run it right away here.
Payson with the serve. Roar puts it up for Fost, and she gets it down the sideline. So Brock has started this set with a few strong points, exactly what Coach Delaney would have wanted to see after they let that third slip away.
Yeah, they feel very efficient right now. We haven't seen too much of a rally so far. Badgers taking care of business, but they've really held leads, significant ones, in pretty much every set here.
And Pettit gets the kill for UBC, her 15th of the night, to lead the way for the Thunderbirds.
Another big kill there. That's with Jovetic in the back after serving.
And that is an error by the Thunderbirds, giving it back to the Badgers. Dick will step to the service line. Dick sends it across with the serve. Pettit off speed attack. Good dig there by the Badgers, and then Pyatt over the middle, as we've seen so many times tonight, right on that logo.
Well, despite one tough error there for Pyatt that sort of helped turn the momentum, she has been so efficient. It's absurd, hitting around 600 on the match.
And that is on very high volume, as well as there's another service error. We've had a couple of those here on the last few points. It's been a relatively clean service game from both teams so far tonight. Not a huge number of aces, but they've been consistent at getting the ball over, which is what you want to see.
Well, in between those two, it does feel like the Badgers have really kept UBC a little off balance, at least a little uncomfortable with some of these serves. Even if we're not seeing a ton of points won directly on them, I think they've indirectly led to a lot of Brock points.
And that was very nearly an ace for UBC. The Thunderbirds unable to take advantage, however, as Borowski fires her attack wide. Borowski bumps it up. Pettit just has to give up a free ball. Roar puts it for Ainsworth. It was a little bit quieter in that third set. Borowski taps it over. Dick very nearly with a saving dig, but UBC gets the point.
And Borowski continues to be quite involved, and we've seen her go at it a few ways. Doesn't always have the big swing there, and it looked like you could almost see that tip coming, yet she placed it so perfectly, no one could really do anything about it.
Pettit with the serve, and now Ainsworth getting going once again. A powerful kill, 18 on the night for the number 2.
Well, Hannah, I want to talk about that step play from a few points ago. We've only seen UBC pull it out every so often, but it looks dynamite when they do. Is it because the timing is so difficult that you don't see teams use it more often?
Yeah, I think that the pass has to be pretty bang on to run the middle in general, as you know is a middle, but on the step play, yeah, different middles too are like really good. Like Robertson's really strong with that one. And yeah, the pass just has to be pretty perfect to run it. And you also need to make sure your right side attacker isn't there.
So after a kill by Ainsworth on the previous rally, they go right back to her. She jumps up again, and Jost with a fantastic dig. Payson up at the net, just barely gets out of the way to get the wipe.
Yeah, Payson doing a good job recovering. Often you're putting your whole body into that swing, you land, and the last thing you're worried about is it's trying to skitter out of the way. But she does a good job to be light enough on her feet to avoid that one.
Pasarini now at the line. She's out there still in place of Kovacs. So Coach Doug Reimer continuing to roll with some of the hot hands here tonight. Her and Borowski involved in a block. Her and Robertson.
There you go, really well positioned there for UBC. They look like they anticipated that pass across to the left side. Two of them there squared up perfectly, nowhere to go.
Pasarini will serve once again. Roar right over the middle to Jovetic. Just tries to bat it over. Ball hung on the tape there for a second. Now put up for Ainsworth. Hits it right at Pettit. Payson with the off-speed attack off the tape. Jovetic keeps it alive. Now Dick from the back row. Controlled.
Borowski gets it to the end line. Borowski with the big swing there too. We've seen her really win a lot of points by being smart about her placement. That time looked like she just cocked that arm back and hammered that thing, catching the line there perfectly.
Gigi Markotic is now checked back in for Brock. We saw her very briefly in the second set, replacing Jovetic now. Roar goes to Ainsworth on that far side once again. They keep feeding her on the outside. Robertson is there with the dig. Now Payson gets another wipe off the hands of Roar. We are tied up at 8 as we are going back and forth here to start the fourth.
That was such a smart play by Robertson as well. She went up with the first block and then stayed down for the second and was able to dig the tip. I don't know if she planned to read it that well, but it really worked out for the T-Birds there.
So a 3-0 run for UBC that ends with a kill for Markotic, her first of the night. There's that step around play, this time used by Brock.
Yeah, you have to have your setter, pretty much you have to have your setter in the front row, because if your setter's in the back row, the right side hitter is hitting on the right side. So one more rotation and then we'll probably see it from Robertson.
Roar now with the serve. High back set to Borowski. Great read on the defense by Lucy Borowski, who's been involved here early in this set.
Really has. It's been excellent too. So far, it didn't have the strongest hitting percentage in those first three, but it really feels like she has been the catalyst to UBC's attack here as much as anyone in the fourth set.
And that is very nearly an ace. In fact, it is an ace. I thought Foss was going to be able to get it in time, but Borowski drops it down for UBC's third of the night.
They have been hard to come by, but big spot there to give the home team an advantage.
This time it is more readily controlled by the Badgers. Ainsworth flies in with the kill. She's up to 20.
You can almost see the team's mentality based on the reaction to those points. Sometimes it's pure excitement, sometimes it's some relief. Looked like that was a little relief on the Brock side right there.
That ended what had been a 5-1 run by UBC. Auckland backs at Robertson coming around the outside once again. That is 6 kills for her on just 7 attack attempts.
You called it there, Hannah. They had one more rotation, and they went right to it. And again, it's super effective.
Very effective. This step is huge in women's volleyball.
Payson commits the service error, 8 for UBC. Now Brock has 12 on the night as Jovetic will check back in for Markotic, and she will serve.
And we have Jovetic who's serving and has to be in the back row. Do you, Hannah, target those middles who do have to play the back row after they serve?
Oh, 100% you target them, yes, always.
I think Casarini got caught on a point earlier in the set as well on the UBC side.
Auckland nearly getting it herself. In fact, it will end up with a UBC point as a desperation play by Ainsworth bounces off the ceiling.
Don't get that a ton at War Memorial, Jake. It feels like we watch it here, and there's almost like a force field most of the time, a few inches below the ceiling. But that time, the desperation play, that roof came into play.
It is a fairly high ceiling here in War Memorial Gym. Roar setting it up for Dick on the outside. One arm dig by Borowski. UBC looked like it could have been in scramble mode. Instead, runs their system to perfection.
That was left-handed. That was Auckland. I don't know if that was a systematic point. That was an incredible improvisation to me.
I think she might be left-handed. I'm not sure, but I think she might be.
Well, that would explain it. We don't see her swing too often. That was awfully smooth.
Very smooth.
Prompted a timeout to be called by Coach Delaney on the Brock sideline. His team down 13-11, and of course, a must-win set for Brock if they are to avoid crashing out in the U Sports quarterfinal stage for the second year in a row. Of course, their weekend won't be done if they do lose, because a reminder that the consolation round will be broadcast exclusively on CBC Sports YouTube channel. Check out ubcsports.ca for game times and channel distribution. That'll be tomorrow, the consolation round beginning, along with the semifinals.
A whole great weekend of volleyball. Should mention this guy that we're seeing here pumping up the crowd all the time. This is Crazy P. For those not from the Vancouver area, he's very familiar at Vancouver sporting events, at every single BC Lions game, pumping up the whole crowd. Out here at UBC for some big ones as well. Occasionally the Canucks, but Crazy P, a staple of Vancouver sports, and he's working the crowd tonight.
Jade Robertson serves us out of the timeout, goes all the way back to the UBC side. Brock unable to keep it alive. Now a 3-point advantage, and Madison Chimienti will check back in for the Badgers, replacing Ainsworth.
Now, volleyball, of course, an ultimate team game, but this almost feels like a moment right now for Brock where they need one person to step up, take control, emotionally take control in this game for them offensively. They need a catalyst right now to get going.
That won't help them get going, as it's a UBC ace. I believe this is the biggest lead UBC has had in any set so far tonight. They're up 15-11, and for the first time, really, Brock is struggling a bit to get themselves acclimatized to what UBC is doing. Roar, up to Dick, nearly a block. UBC almost started celebrating, but the play's still alive, and Fost gets a massive kill for the Badgers.
Huge point here for Brock. They need to keep that energy up. They need to keep those spirits up. It is feeling like about 11 p.m., I think, in Ontario time right now. That doesn't make it any easier.
Madison Tuck back into serve. I'm sure all the people that we've shouted out who are watching from Ontario, I'm sure they are perfectly wide awake right now watching their team battle it out against the host UBC. Jost pushes it out to Pettit, and she gets it through the block for the kill.
You can see the Brock coach, I think it showed in the broadcast, almost approaching the court there. He's not happy with that call. It looked like a double on Jost. It looked like it came out of her hands clean, to be fair. There was a bit of spin, but tough call. Tough call. You want to let the players play, honestly.
Well, Hannah, there's been, frankly, about 2 or 3 where I thought maybe there had been doubles. I'm not sure if that's what you've seen as well. Do you find the officiating changes in a big moment like this to let the players play?
Sometimes, but also they want to make it even, you know what I mean? So maybe if they let one go earlier for the other team, maybe they'll let one go. And, yeah, definitely want to let the players play.
Aaliyah Torres, speaking of players playing, doing a great job keeping it alive. Brock reloads Fost right at Jost. However, it's all the way back on the Badgers side. Miscontrol there by Pyatt, giving it right back to UBC, and Pettit off the tape. Tuck with the dig. Now Fost again! Casarini with the rejection.
Wow, and the size of Casarini seems to be making a big difference there. She's quite a presence in the middle for UBC. As mentioned, coming back from the injury, hasn't played huge stretches of games even when she's returned, but she is being leaned on now into great effect.
Oxlin with the serve, confirming that she is indeed left-handed, and she gets an ace. And UBC in danger of running away with this set if Brock can't get the momentum back. As Ainsworth checks back in the back row for Chimienti.
Chimienti with a couple of tough serve receives there, and looks like she'll get a bit of a rest. We saw UBC make some big personnel changes in the third set. It turned things around. Brock looking to do something similar.
Another good dig by Joe, setting up Borowski. Big block. Pyatt and Fost combined. Brock absolutely needed that one.
As Badgers' attack just looking a little less dangerous right now, so they really need to rely on that front row defense that has been so solid for them throughout the evening. They need something to really explode here to take the momentum back.
Oxlin puts it up for Pettit. Another kill. The senior leader for UBC continuing her strong performance.
Well, and previously you had Casarini and Pettit in the front row there. Those are two very tall players, very tough to get a clean block on two people of that size.
A season high in kills for Pettit tonight, coming at the biggest time. Ainsworth sent back. Casarini, another block. Wow. And it's not only the execution there, but UBC, they really seem to have a good feel for what Brock wants to do offensively. And Hannah, I'm not sure, is this the time where you start trying something tricky, or if you're the Badgers, do you just really stick to what worked for the first half of the night and hope that things get sorted out?
Yeah, I think they're going to try and stick with what's worked so far. We saw the one substitution come in, which, again, hard to say why you're subbing out number 2, Ainsworth, at that point, who's been such a amazing part of the team tonight. But I think it was probably more used like a timeout, maybe to rattle the serving side instead of actually taking the timeout to save it for a more crucial time. Change up, give the Thunderbirds a little bit more time on that service line and hope that they'll make an error, which they didn't. But yeah, I think Brock's going to try and go back to what they were doing in the earlier sets, just running their offense so well.
Well, maybe a good indication of that. The Badgers, quick huddle, broke, got out on the court. They look ready to go. And we do see Ainsworth back out there as well now. Brock also out of timeouts at this point, down 7. Definitely UBC's biggest advantage in any set so far.
And if Brock wants to keep their hopes of their first ever U Sports medal alive, they need to make a big comeback here in the 4th. Roar, Ainsworth, that's exactly what they were looking for. Coming out of that timeout, she's back in the front row, gets another kill.
Yeah, big there for Ainsworth. And whether we expected her to be the catalyst for this offense or not, it's clearly her night. So she's got to pull them back in this one.
Roar, right back out to Ainsworth, almost off her back foot there. Right up at the net, UBC can't keep it alive. And with Pyatt in the back row serving, you have to expect Ainsworth is going to be getting heavy volume here as Brock tries to make a push.
Yeah, and why not? I mean, that's 2 straight points. She's been the best option all night. You got to go with what works right now.
Payson fires that one too long. That is 3 straight points for the Badgers. And Coach Doug Reimer will call a timeout, not wanting this Brock run to stretch too far. They've cut it to 4, 20-16, still very much in reach for the Badgers if they can take this momentum back like they have.
I believe we were in a similar situation in the 3rd set, but the other way around there when UBC found the momentum, so we know all too well how possible it is. What do you think, Hannah, of the use of the timeout right there by Coach Reimer?
I think it's really smart to take the timeout early before it's almost too late in a sense. Just regather, refocus your team, and he's been coaching forever, so he definitely has great information to tell them, and he seems to understand the dynamic of his players and just know how to connect with them really well. Oftentimes you'll see him on the side making them laugh on the court or smiling or whatever. He's got a great relationship with his players, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, always interesting. I love volleyball for that reason, the use of the timeouts, and you've got, as the coach, you've got the technical skills, you've got the cognitive skills, you've got motivation, but then you've also got just knowing your team. And obviously, 2 teams this far along, they've got 2 coaches who have a great handle on what their players need.
Not a great serve reception by the Thunderbirds. Jovetic makes them pay. And now we're going to see a UBC substitution. Akash Gruel checking in for the first time since the first set. She's replacing Payson.
Yeah, well, that is, 4 straight points, but pretty much 3 of them UBC, one way or another, gave to the Badgers here. So the Thunderbirds are shooting themselves in the foot a little bit, but they are still definitely in control of this set.
Pyatt has had a strong serving run. Pettit handles this one. Now Gruel right off the bench with the kill.
Gruel shrugs that one off like, oh, well, okay. She got it done. It was placed beautifully. I think she should have more confidence with that one.
Well, that's, of course, with Aaliyah Torres also, who's put up a stack of pancakes already in this game on the bench right there. So Jovetic trying to do her best Torres impression, couldn't quite get under that.
Trinity Selecki is now back in for UBC, specifically to serve. Has often been used in that role this season. She gets it over. She gets an ace! And the substitutions from UBC paying off. Gruel and Selecki getting back-to-back points. UBC 3 away.
What a moment for Selecki to come in after waiting this long, to not playing significantly at all, and she's here in the biggest of spots.
Trying to go 2 for 2 now. Does go just a little bit long, and Brock stays alive.
That one 100% touched that player's hand. That's what UBC is saying right now. Okay, maybe I'm not 100, but like I heard it from up here with headphones on. The coaches are heated with that call.
In UBC's eyes, at least, it was 100% touched by the defense. Coach Doug Reimer all the way up on the sideline, and Oxen talking to the head official. In fact, both the line judges are now going over to talk to the head official. This is a massive call here, obviously.
I believe it was number 9 for Brock that reached out and did touch it.
Faust there.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was a very controversial call late in the third sets where it really looked like from here a point that was given to UBC was actually out. There wasn't much of a discussion then. We just moved on. So I wonder how Brock is going to feel if this call is ultimately reversed, as we have all line officials there converging.
Yeah, all 4 line officials talking to the head ref at the moment.
Number 9 just said she did not feel it, so we'll see what happens. Wow.
They are sticking with the call on the court, which makes sense if it's such a tough decision to make.
Yeah, if in doubt, if you really aren't certain that it was the wrong call, I think you do have to stick with it. Kind of feels like it evened things out a little bit too from the earlier call.
Roar now with the serve. Borowski blocked! And Brock once again within 3. UBC still with one more timeout, not using it just yet. Sarah Roar, 50 assists on the night with the serve, and that one is definitely a service error.
Now Roar's been pretty good for them serving, just her second error, and she's been one of the few Badgers to string a few together. That's a tough spot there, a good read on the sideline by Gruel.
So Borowski now at the line. Roar puts it up for Ainsworth, nearly blocked, and it's down! UBC has match point!
Fans are getting to their feet. These are the moments these players play all year for.
Kara Kovacs checking in now. She's replacing Oxland in the front. Borowski will serve as the setter after she serves. Another weapon in the front row for the Thunderbirds. Roar, Dick, off the chest of Borowski. Gruel with the diving dig, somehow kept alive. Set up for Ainsworth. Again, UBC has it. Kovacs blocks. Jovetic saving the season for the Badgers, at least for the moment, as Oxland checks back in.
And Hannah, what do you think of taking your setter out in a big moment like that?
I mean, they did it in the last set and it worked. I think they're, getting Borowski the touches as the setter in these important games and just giving themselves another option in the front row. It's a good play.
Oxland back in, gets it to Gruel! UBC advances to the U Sports semifinals. They take down the OUA champions 3 sets to 1.
UBC takes the match. 3 sets to 1, 18-25, 25-19.
You can hear the crowd on their feet celebrating this final point. Oxland to the substitute Gruel going cross court.
This game, Jake, you could have almost never predicted it would end this way, the way things started. Brock, I mean, they really were pretty solid, pretty consistent. faded a little as this game went on, but they just seemed to be unflappable. And UBC, they were up and down, and then somehow they just found it, and they were able to impose their will at the end. An unlikely comeback in the third set, a dominant effort in the fourth set despite a great counter from Brock, and ultimately it is the Thunderbirds making the home fans happy, and this is as loud as I have ever heard War Memorial Gym.
It's now time for the Mikasa team players of the game. No shortage of excellent performers on either side tonight. It was a very high level of volleyball being played out there. It is the fifth-year middle blocker, Grace Pyatt, getting the award on the Brock side.
So many options on UBC for this one.
And it is another fifth year, the outside hitter, Elise Pettit. Pyatt on the side of the Badgers finished with 16 kills, hitting .577 along with 3 blocks. Pettit, season high 18 kills, hitting .342, 6 digs, 3 blocks, helping lead UBC back to the national semifinals.
And I mean, that does feel deserved because Pettit seemed to be one of the main catalysts in turning things around there for UBC. She just started imposing her will in that second set, continued in the third and the fourth as well. Really used her height to go over blocks, deflect off blocks strategically a lot through the evening, and she was really, really consistent and excellent for a team that was up and down. She was certainly the rock offensively for them tonight.
Yeah, Elise Pettit played great tonight. Bryn Payson, the captain too, in those first couple sets. She was offensively swinging so well. She was a huge factor in the game as well.
So after dropping the first set to the Badgers tonight, UBC reeling off 3 set wins in a row. Of course, crashed out in the Canada West quarterfinals to Manitoba, who they might end up playing in the semifinals here. As Manitoba also in this national championship tournament, we have Doug Reimer, the coach of UBC, coming over, and he will be able to speak with us for a few minutes here after this massive win for UBC.
It's been a long layoff there for UBC, and you almost saw the rust at the beginning, but they were able to shake it off. Not often you see a team transform mid-game the way that they did, and we're going to hear from the coach now about what exactly adjustments they were able to make.
Hello, Coach Reimer. Looks like he still needs a bit of a second here to get himself ready.
He's been here before, Jake. He's done this a few times. We'll go on Doug's schedule.
Hello, Coach Reimer. Massive victory for you guys tonight. How were you able to respond after going down 1-0? You were down in that third set as well, but you kept fighting. How were you able to pull it out?
I don't know, it'd probably be better to talk to a few of the players about that. Overall, I think we just maintained our composure pretty well, and we knew we had to up certain aspects of our game because, to be honest, especially Pyatt, number 11 in the middle, was, doing a great job. We didn't stop her at all, but we needed to get some block and some defense against some of the other attackers. And so I think that helped because they were just way too efficient when they were going well. And part of that is on ability to serve. And again, that third set, I thought we were rocketing some serves really well, and they were passing dimes. So, a set like that third one can go either way. Also think it was important, even though we were steadier there in the fourth and able to just make, finish, which is sometimes very hard to do, especially when you come back a long way and been down. So very proud of that effort. I thought Elise did a great job attacking on the outside, and we got enough from other players, so yeah, it was a great win.
Well, Coach, it felt like you were pressing a lot of the right buttons tonight, a lot of substitutions at key times coming through. How big was your team's depth in this victory?
Yeah, it's critical. It's been a bit of a theme of ours. We have a lot of good players, and I'll make two sort of comments on that. I mean, you know, it's not even how many points you're in for, but like Trinity Selecki coming in to serve there right at the end, hadn't played yet. You know, we've got some depth in the middle, so we could try some things. And, you know, obviously with two very good right sides. So, yeah, it's a nice problem to have, but lots of decisions that have to be made. The second aspect that that you don't see out here is we went, 2.5 weeks without playing or more and not coming off not playing well. And that's where I think our depth really helped us, because we were able to train and scrimmage and prepare, you know, in a situation where if we didn't have that depth, there wouldn't have been the competitive atmosphere in our training.
Just one more question for you, Coach. You're going to be taking on some Canada West opposition in the semifinal, either Mount Royal or Manitoba, both teams who defeated the Thunderbirds, one in the regular season, one in the Canada West playoffs. What element does that familiarity bring, and are you guys ready to take on them once again?
All right. Don't tell Mount Royal or Manitoba, but we spent exactly, I've spent 0 time preparing for them because I knew how good Brock was. And it was doing that. What I do like about our team is I told them before the match, we're in a lot better space to compete now than we were when we lost to Manitoba in the playoffs. But I mean, both programs, I mean, they earned their right to be here, and they played a lot of good volleyball. So we will have a ton of respect for whoever we see tomorrow night.
Thank you so much for your time. Congrats on the win, and good luck tomorrow night.
Yeah, thanks very much.
That was Coach Doug Reimer of the UBC Thunderbirds, victorious in an upset here tonight over the OUA champions, the Brock Badgers. Join us later tonight for our next and final quarterfinal broadcast featuring Mount Royal and Manitoba. Our final score today, 3-1 in favor of UBC. On behalf of Toby Kerr and Hannah Backen, our entire U Sports team here, and CBC crew, this is Jake McGrail speaking. Thank you for joining us tonight, and goodbye from Vancouver.
Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
U Sports on CBC. Les championnats U Sport. Brought to you in part by. Vous êtes présenté par Nike Team, Just Do It, Faites-le, Eric, exclusive supplier of U Sports Championship rings, le fournisseur exclusif des bagues de championnat U Sport, Fox 40 celebrating a decade of the Fox 40 U Sports Coach of the Year program, fier partenaire des prix de l'entraîneur de l'année U Sport depuis 10 ans, by Veriburn, proud medical supplier to university sports since 1979, fier partenaire du sport universitaire depuis 1979. The Government of Canada, le gouvernement du Canada, et par Mikasa, l'étoile montante du volleyball, le V200W, ballon officiel de U-Sport, and by Mikasa, makers of volleyball's hottest star, the V200W, the official volleyball of U-Sports.